Hello students, welcome to the part 2 of error analysis. In this last and final part, we are going to discuss the combination of errors or propagation of errors. The error in the final result of an experiment after a mathematical manipulation, it depends upon the individual measurements and the mathematical operations performed. Which means whenever we are performing an experiment to find out the result, say for example finding the time period of a simple pendulum, for which the formula is given by t is equal to 2 pi under root L by g. So if you want to measure the time period, in order to do that we have to measure the length as well as the acceleration due to gravity, as well as take the square root, and then we had to multiply with 2 pi to get the time period. 2 pi is a constant. So any error in the time period, it depends upon the error in the measurement of length, in the measurement of acceleration due to gravity, their ratio, and then taking the square root. So whenever any mathematical formula is applied which involves the basic mathematical operations, what will be the error in the final result? It depends upon the type of the mathematical operation performed and also the individual errors present in the individual quantities. So how does the errors act when two quantities are multiplied, added, subtracted or divided? That what we call as the combination or propagation of errors. So in this case we are going to study one by one what are the rules are to be followed when we are measuring any physical quantity and two quantities are added, subtracted, multiplied or divided. First, addition of two quantities. Let delta A and delta B, they are the absolute errors present in the two quantities, capital A and capital B respectively, while A and B be their absolute values. So if small a and small b are the absolute values of two quantities, capital A and capital B, then the two quantities can be written as A is equal to A plus minus delta A and B will be equal to B plus minus delta B. Then let a third quantity Z is produced which is equal to A plus B. So in this case we can write Z as Z plus minus delta Z equal to A plus minus delta A plus B plus minus delta B. So if A and B have their absolute value part and absolute error part, that means if A and B contains error, this means that Z must also contain some amount of error. So the value of Z can be expressed as Z plus minus delta Z. This we can write as Z plus minus delta Z equal to A plus B plus minus delta A plus delta B. Remember, A and B, they are the absolute part of the value of the physical quantity which we considered as the true value, while delta A and delta B, they are the absolute errors present in the respective quantities. Moreover, the value of delta A or delta B is very small as compared to the value of A and B. That is, value of delta A is very small as compared to A. Delta B value is also very small as compared to B. So by following the rules of addition, we can add two quantities only if they are having of the same order of the magnitude. So A can be added into B and delta A can be only added into delta B. We cannot add delta A into B or we cannot add A into delta B. That's why Z plus minus delta Z is equal to A plus B plus minus delta A plus delta B. Now A plus B here is the absolute value of the physical quantity Z. If A plus B is the absolute value of the physical quantity Z, then we can write Z plus minus delta Z equal to Z plus minus delta A plus delta B. That means A plus B we have written as Z because it is the absolute part of the physical quantity Z. So Z on both sides cancel out each other and we are left with only the quantity that is equal to plus minus delta Z is equal to plus minus delta A plus minus delta B after opening the bracket. What we are trying to find out? Maximum permissible error. maximum possible error in the addition of the two physical quantities, that will be equal to delta z equal to delta a plus delta b. We have removed the minus sign. Why we have removed minus sign? Because if we take minus sign, the result will be delta z equal to delta a minus delta b. That means error in z is equal to difference of error of a and b. Remember, this is not possible because errors cannot be reduced during mathematical operations. Error can be reduced only at the time of the experimentation, not during mathematical operations. That's why the maximum error in the result will always be obtained by neglecting the negative sign. So maximum possible error in the z is equal to delta z equal to delta a plus delta b. We take a help of small example. Let two resistances are R1 equal to 100 plus minus 3 ohm and R2 is equal to 200 plus minus 4 ohm. We have to find out their net resistance when they are joined in series. So R1 and R2 are given. We know that in series the net result is simply R1 plus R2. So it will be equal to 100 plus minus 3 plus 200 plus minus 4. So 100 and 200, they are the real parts of absolute parts of R1 and R2. 3 and 4, they are here the absolute errors. So this is A, delta A, this is B, this is delta B. So final result will be equal to 100 plus 200 plus minus 3 plus 4, that is equal to 300 plus minus 7. So the final result is 300 plus minus 7 ohm. This means that absolute value of the resistance in series is equal to 300 ohm and the error inside it is 7 ohm. Now we are dealing with the difference of the two quantities. Again we have the two quantities and AB. Now we define Z as A minus B. So in this case Z plus minus delta Z is equal to A plus minus delta A minus B plus minus delta B. Just like in the earlier case, Z plus minus delta Z will be equal to A minus B plus minus delta A minus plus delta B. So when the bracket will be open, the signs over here will reverse. So we have Z plus minus delta Z equal to A minus B plus minus delta A. This negative sign goes inside. We get minus plus delta B. A minus B is nothing but the absolute value of the physical quantity Z. So we can write this as Z, small z. So Z plus minus delta Z is equal to Z plus minus delta A minus plus delta B. Z get cancelled on both sides. So plus minus delta Z is equal to plus minus delta A minus plus delta B. As said earlier, we have to find maximum possible error, and maximum possible error in the difference of two quantities will be delta Z equal to delta A plus delta B. So even when the quantities are being subtracted, their absolute parts will subtract, but the absolute error in the result is always equal to the sum of the absolute errors present in the individual quantities. So a simple example, two masses are 23.7 plus minus 0.5 gram and 17.6 plus minus 0.3 gram. We have to find out their differences. So we can write them as M1 equal to 23.7 plus minus 0.5. This is A, this is delta A. M2 17.6 plus minus 0.3 gram. This is B, this is delta B. So the difference of the two will be equal to M1 minus M2, which will be equal to 23.7 minus 17.6 plus minus, remember absolute errors always add up, 0.5 plus 0.3. That means final result will be 6.1 plus minus 0.8 gram. In this third case now, we are having the product of two quantities, that is Z is equal to A into B. So in this case Z plus minus delta Z is equal to A plus minus delta A into B plus minus delta B, or Z plus minus delta Z is equal to, after multiplying we have A into B plus minus A delta B plus minus delta A into B plus minus delta A into delta B. Now if this AB is nothing our Z, so if we take Z common, on the left hand side and this AB common on the right hand side, we have z into 1 plus minus delta z over z equal to AB into 1 plus minus A delta B over AB plus minus B delta A over AB plus minus delta A delta B divided by AB. A and A get cancelled, B and B get cancelled. This AB is nothing but z. So writing AB as z, z on both sides also get cancelled. So we get 1 plus minus delta z over z equal to 1 plus minus delta A over A plus minus delta B over B plus minus delta A delta B over AB. Now the last term delta A into delta B divided by AB is very small, because we know that order of magnitude of delta A and delta B, they are very small as compared to A and B respectively. So if we multiply the two together and divide them with the product of A and B, the result will of this term, the order of magnitude of this term will be very small as compared to order of magnitude of these three first terms. So that can be neglected. So after that we are left with the terms delta z over z with the plus minus sign equal to delta A over A plus minus delta B over B. We are finding the maximum possible error. So maximum possible error in this case, it will be delta z over z equal to delta A over A plus delta B over B. So in this case, when we are having product of two quantities, absolute errors are not adding up, but in the product of two quantities, the sum of the relative error of A and relative of error of B gives us the relative error in the product of the two quantities, that is delta z over z is equal to delta A over A plus delta B over B. If we take a simple example to demonstrate it, we have potential difference across a wire across a resistor is given by V is equal to IR. Now if I is equal to 10 plus minus 0.2 ampere and R is equal to 2 plus minus 0.3 ohm, we have to find out the potential difference. It is already given the formula V is equal to IR, we just have to multiply. So in order to find out the V, we see that if I is written as I plus minus delta A, R is written as R plus minus delta R. This means that when we express our potential difference, it will also contain these terms like V plus minus delta V. So in order to find out the V, we are not to find only its absolute real value, but also the absolute error in the potential difference. So first we are finding out the V. Whenever we are having the product of the two quantities, remember we are to find V and delta V separately. First we find V. Without V we cannot get delta V. So when we are trying to find out V, as V is given by the formula I into R, so absolute part of the V quantity potential difference can be simply obtained by just multiplying the absolute part of the current and the resistance. That is V will be equal to simply I into R, that is 10 into 2 equal to 20 volt. So in this case, this V part we have simply determined by simply multiplying the real parts of current and the real part of the resistance. Now we are left with delta V. Now when it comes to finding delta V, we are trying to find absolute error, and in this case we are having product of two quantities. So in this case this formula will be applicable, that is a relative error in the V, that is delta V over V will be equal to sum of the relative error of current and that of resistance. So delta V over V is equal to delta I over I plus delta R over R. So after substituting the values of I delta I, R delta R, we are have 0.2 over 10 plus 0.3 over 2 equal to 0.02 plus 0.15, which gives delta V over V is equal to 0.17. V we have already determined 20 volt, so delta V will be equal to V into 0.17, which will be equal to 3.4 ohm. 3.4 volt. Okay, so in this case potential difference across the resistance will be V plus minus delta V equal to 20 plus minus 3.4 volt. In fact, we can see that I and R contains delta part only up to first term. So in this case for only one significant figure, so we can remove this 4 after the decimal, so our actual value will come out to be 20 plus minus 3 volt.